call the common council meeting to order, Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. For the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call been taken?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'm looking for a motion for the agenda.
So move, Your Honor.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Barrington, second by Mr. Roberts to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have one correction, one thing to note, we found an error that will be corrected in the minutes for March 4th. The minutes in your packet reflected a unanimous vote for the facade grant. It should actually be a 7 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstain vote, with Fache and Roberts abstaining. Can I get a motion for these corrected minutes?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Barrington, second by Mr. Dorsey, to approve the minutes with the correction. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Dorsey, we pay some bills?
Mr. Honor, make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $1,338,950.04.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Dorsey, second by Mr. Fache, to pay the bills in the amount of $1,338,950.04. Any further discussion? Cast your ballot.
I'm actually gonna have everybody sign in again first, because Belinda just walked in, so I'm just starting it over to get her, all set up.
Thank you.
Okay, cast your ballots.
Yep.
Mr. Roberts? Carried 9-0. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? One last time for public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on. Let's go to standing and special committees. Board of Public Works, Mr. Barrington.
Board of Public Works met on Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Motion was made to approve the agenda, carried by all. The next was public input, there was none. Wastewater treatment plant notes were enclosed in the packet. The next was a discussion on bike lanes for Mill Street and Beacon Avenue. Director Garski informed the committee that he met with Outagamie County about the 2027-2028 Mill Street and Beacon Avenue construction project. Outagamie County identifies Mill and Beacon as a potential bicycle route that in the future could connect with trails within Outagamie County. Bike lanes would not change the footprint of the roadway, but parking would no longer be allowed on these streets. There would be a financial benefit of 25% for a portion of the roadway construction if bike lanes were allowed. Alderpersons added to the discussion, after much consideration, decided that the proposed bike lanes would not be optional for safety reasons, and the financial benefit would not be significant enough. Direction was given not to pursue. The next was consider an agreement with AMRO for sludge disposal. The AMRO agreement was reviewed in the packet. The agreement would allow the city of Amro to continue to bring their standardized sludge to the wastewater treatment plant for treatment. The agreement would last until December 31st, 2029, with the ability to adjust the road rates annually if needed. Motion made and seconded to bring that to council, carried 8-0. The next was discussion on non-standard street warning signs. A resident requested signage relating to an area where a deaf child resides. Current code does not reference clearly this type of sign placement for blind, deaf, or autistic child area. The non-standard warning signs are not part of the MUTC. It was found that most communities do not allow non-standard signs to be installed. One community has a form that the requester of the sign fills out. That form is reviewed by a committee and approved or denied. Alderpersons had a thorough discussion related to non-standard warning signs. Direction was given to look into the policy allowing non-standard warning signs by committee review and at the cost of the requester. No motion was taken. Director's report. Director's memo was included in the agenda packet and was reviewed by the board. Anniversaries. Lynn Hannadale, wastewater treatment operator number 2, 5 years of service. Mill Street construction project is moving forward with preparation to begin. Borings will be done soon. North Street LRIP reimbursement should arrive soon. Any cost savings from this project can be put toward another approved project to use future grant amount. Highway 45 and 54 projects this year that are led and run by the state will start soon. A public information meeting will be held at March 15, that was moved to Thursday night. The sled hill will be available for the 26-27 winter season. Wastewater treatment plants are in the future agenda items. Date and time of the next meeting will be determined. No further discussion. Minute was canceled at 6:15. I make a motion to consider agreement with wastewater treatment services for the city of Amro.
Motion made by Mr. Barrington,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Ritchie, to approve the agreement, wastewater services with the city of Amro. Any discussion? Cast your ballot. The motion carried 8-0.
And that is all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Barrington. Let's move on, finance and personnel, Mr. Dorsey.
Yes, Your Honor, Finance and Personnel Committee met Wednesday, March 11th. Meeting was called to order at 5:15. Motion made to approve the minutes. There's no public comment. Administrator Orr presented an annual B&G Associates contract for continuous monitoring of the CDGB Small Cities RLF Housing Program. Purpose of the contract is to monitor the loans that were taken out by New London residents prior to the Department of Administration regionalizing that process. Motion was made, seconded to recommend to council approval of the contract. Administrator Hurth led a discussion on how the committee would like the city to approach a future wage study, whether that be an internal or external. The last formal wage study was completed internally in 2022, implemented in 2023. Historically, the wage studies were completed every 4 years. In the past year, the city has had a number of employees leave for higher paying opportunities. The city understands the pressure of the job market that continues to be very competitive and managing limited ability to increase revenue. But the city has to maintain a competitive wage to attract and retain qualified staff. There is a general consensus to use an outside consultant to properly reflect both the external municipal job market and the internal pay quality. Committee requested Administrator Hort to begin the process to obtain quotes for an outside consultant and bring it back that information to a future Finance Committee meeting. Financial reports were reviewed, Director's report was discussed. Be no business, motion was made to adjourn at 5:53. Make a motion for the approval of a contract with B&G Associates for administrating the city's CDBG Small Cities Housing Program.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Dorsey, second by Mr. Roberts. to approve the contract with B&G Associates for administering the city's CDBG Small Cities Housing Program. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballot. The motion carried 8-0. Oh, sorry about that, one abstention. Mr. Fisher. Sorry about that, 7-1 abstention.
Make a motion to approve the monthly license list recommended for approval by the police department.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Dorsey, seconded by Mr. Roberts, to approve the license list as recommended for approval by the police department and presented in your packets. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 8-0.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsey. Park and Recs, Mr. Besaw.
There was no Park and Rec committee meeting in March, so there's no minutes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Besaw. Let's move on to Planning Commission, Mr. Ritchie.
Planning Commission met February 26th. Meeting was called to order at 5:15. Motion is made, second, and approve the agenda. Motion was made, seconded to approve the minutes of January 22nd's meeting. There was no public comment. The committee development director, Austin Dave Dobb, or whatever, presented the proposed CSM for review. Staff recommendations is to approve the purpose CSM with no conditions. After discussing, Mayor Herder and Steinberg moved to approve the CSM. Motion carried 10-0. Committee Development Director Austin presented a proposed development for review based on the staff's analysis. The proposed development would require the compensation plan amendment and the sequence reasons. The purpose development falls under the missing middle category of housing, which is listed as a need in the city's comprehensive plan. The floor was open for discussion and no action was taken on the item. Upcoming agenda items, Committee Development Director Austin informed the Planning Commission that there will be a future comprehensive plan amendment to review, which will update the city's comprehensive plan to reflect the new zoning code. Next meeting date, tentatively March 26th. Meeting was adjourned at 5:30. Consider an approval for an ordinance amendment, the future land use map in the city's 2040 comprehensive plan, second reading.
Motion made by Mr. Ritchie,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Besaw, to approve the ordinance amending the future land use map in the city's 2040 comprehensive plan. This is a second reading. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballot. Motion carried 8-0.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. Moving on to Economic Development Committee, Ms. Croy.
Thank you. The Economic Development Committee met on Wednesday, March 4th. We called the meeting to order at 5:15. The agenda was approved as presented, carried by all. The minutes were reviewed and approved as presented. There was no public comment. A discussion took place regarding the renewal of the facade improvement program for 2026. A recap and the results of the 2025 program were provided. In 2025, $35,848.09 was awarded in grant funds, resulting in property owner investments that exceeded $173,715. The committee considered renewing the program, but also expanding it to other businesses outside of the downtown zone. A motion was made to renew the building facade improvement program with a 2026 budget of $55,000, including a change allowing facade grants to be available to all City of New London businesses following the initial application round. This motion carried, 10 in favor, 0 against, 2 abstentions. The Chamber Director's Business Report. Lala's Family Restaurant and Bar is opening in the former downtown family restaurant location at 1601 North Shawano Street. Aspen Witt and Franklin Realty and Company is opening at 103 West North Water Street. The new SCS Wolfriver Apartments are expected to start leasing in April of 2026. Sherwood Automotive has relocated to the former Frick Ford building at N3605 River Run Lane. Amazing Low Prices at 210 Wisconsin Street is hosting a going out of business sale. There was a verbal offer for the sale of the newer side of the Grand Cinema Theater, and that has been canceled, so the facility is still for sale. The Chamber has partnered with the Small Business Development Centers from Stevens Point and Oshkosh and have started free consulting services on the third Thursday of each month. Contact the Chamber for more information or to schedule an appointment. Administrator Hirth reported that conversations continue with developers regarding residential housing developments. He also provided an update on conversations with several engineering consulting firms for the downtown placemaking projects and provided a copy of the Wapaka County Economic Development Corporation's 2025 highlights report. Future agenda items were reviewed. The State of Wisconsin Downtown Reports was published by the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and that was included in the agenda packet. The committee was asked to read the report and prepare for follow-up vision and discussion at next month's meeting. The next Economic Development Committee meeting is anticipated to be held March 24th. Motion was made to adjourn at 5:48 p.m. and was carried by all. And that is all I have,
Thank you,
Mr.
Ms.
President.
Thank you, Ms. Croy. Next, we'll move on to capital projects and committee. I will read that. Meeting was called to order, 5:56. Motion made to adopt the agenda, carried 9-0. Park and Rec Director, Ms. Soul, explained the need for emergency replacement of the sauna heating unit in the women's locker room area at the Aquatic and Fitness Center. The control sensor for the temperature malfunctioned and the unit must be replaced as it is obsolete. Also of concern is the sauna has high usage and is currently a deterrent for patrons who are using the facility. There was discussion on replacing the heating unit in the men's locker room area also at the same time. Ginger stated that the lead time to get a new unit was minimal as the unit is local. Motion was made and seconded to approve that. Finance Director Ratke and Chief Wilfer continued discussion from the February committee meeting on replacement of the fire department pumper, estimated cost at $1.3 million. An article from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities magazine addressed several concerns that raised at the February meeting, including the high cost of replacement fire equipment, extended lead times for receiving equipment, and the challenges Wisconsin communities face in financing such purchases. The article also highlighted the no-frills approach to ordering equipment, as well as a possible option to refurbish existing equipment. Staff addressed questions considering the points listed above due to the cost the city will need to incorporate the purchase into future bonding cycle. Racky noted that the first step is for the Finance Committee to approve a resolution authorizing the advance expenditure of funds ahead of the next bond insurance, allowing for specification process to begin. Racky will present a resolution for the fire pumper at the next Finance Committee meeting for consideration. Chief Wilfer was directed to obtain quotes from several different fire truck manufacturers for cost comparison. The next capital improvements and committee will be held as an as-need basis. Meeting was adjourned 6:25. I'd like to make a motion to approve replacement of the women's sauna equipment at the Aquatics and Fitness Center, estimated cost $6,300.
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Mr. Roberts, to approve the replacement of the women's sauna equipment at the Aquatics and Fitness Center, estimated cost $6,300. Any further discussion?
Is that just for one or is that two of them?
That's just for one of them. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballot. Motion is carried 7 with 1 no. Moving on to various meeting minutes and reports will stand as read in your packet. Next, we'll move on to report of officer and recent events and announcements to the public. I have a proclamation to read from the Tree City, USA. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday is called Arbor Day, was the first observed in the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be the solution for combating climate change by reducing erosion of their precious topsoil by wind, water, cutting heat and cooling costs, monitoring the temperature and cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and renewal. Now therefore, John Hass is Council President of the City of New London. I do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 Arbor Day in the City of New London, and I urge all citizens who celebrate Arbor Day to support the efforts and protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I will urge all citizens to plant trees and enhance our community and promote well-being for the future. Let's move on to City Administrator, Mr. Orth.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, a schedule update. The Wisconsin DOT was intending on holding their public information meeting yesterday regarding the 2026 reconstruction project of US Highway 45 and Wisconsin Highway 54. Obviously, that meeting was canceled because of the weather, but they are rescheduling it to be held this Thursday, March 19th, here in the council chambers at the New London Municipal Building, starting at 6 o'clock. So it's just been pushed to this Thursday. Next, as reported in the Economic Development Committee meeting minutes, the city did renew the Business Facade Grant Program for 2026. Applications and information on the program can be found on the city's website. And new this year is that after the first round of awards for the downtown businesses, the program opens up to commercial businesses citywide. So anyone can apply, but downtown businesses will be considered in the first initial round. And those initial applications are due April 17th. If anybody has any questions about that, come contact me here in the office. Third is that residents may have started receiving letters from our assessor regarding the reevaluation process planned for this summer in 2026. We've started a page on our city's website to host information on the process, and we'll provide updates to the city website and Facebook page as time goes on. And there's going to be opportunity for questions and comments throughout the process. But if anybody has any questions on that process, you can contact me as well. And then lastly, I am happy to introduce Carol Ann Lehman. Sorry, Carol Ann, I didn't see you before the meeting to give you a heads up. But Carol Ann is our new city clerk. So we welcome her to our team. She starts her new career on Monday, and we're excited to bring Carol Ann on. So thank you for coming. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Hort. Moving on, the Chief of Police, Chief Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Police Department's been busy in making plans, ensuring everybody will have a safe Irish Fest celebration on Saturday and the rest of the week. Some anniversaries that I want to recognize: Officer Harlow has completed 20 years of service, Officer Schrader has completed 15 years of service, and Officer Krewalt has completed 6 years of service. And finally, a thank you to the Street Department and their work the last couple of days with the snow event. They're extremely helpful to law enforcement and first responders through different medical events that law enforcement by themselves wouldn't have been able to get out to. So I know they were beneficial in helping the county get to a medical call involving a child. The sheriff reached out specifically to thank our street department for that work, so thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chief. Next, Director of Public Works, Mr. Garski.
Thank you, Your Honor. Segue to that, if you haven't noticed, we got a wee bit of snow. So, some of the notes that I took down, things that happened through the actual storm event Sunday, Monday. New London responded with 5 street personnel, the city mechanic, 3 park personnel, the aquatic program supervisor who carries a CDL. Most of that staff put in 32 hours in that 2-day span. Today was another long day. I did not include that, but it was a 12+ hour to do some cleanup and start the removal process downtown. I want to thank the crew for all the hard work and the stress that comes with it in the long hours. Also thank the PD with helping us out, getting cars off the street. And I also want to take this time to thank council. You're wondering what for? I've been here going on 4 full years, and through that I've asked for pieces of equipment and things like the grader. When you're looking at a $400,000 expense, that's a lot to chew off on a capital budget. And for this council to approve objects like that or equipment like that, the plow and wing setup for our loaders, it's essential for events like this. I know they don't get used every day. It's not an everyday piece of equipment, but without it, that 30-some-year-old grader we had would have been a drift ornament until it thawed out, because there's no way it would have got through what we went through. It's essential to have the necessary equipment to do our job, and I appreciate the approvals on the things we've asked for. Also, as I've heard before council, that the streets are narrow. Remember that all streets must be passable. So if you're parking on the street, try to stagger your park. We will not go out and try to knock these banks down. 1, they're frozen in place. 2, it wasn't on purpose to try to narrow up the streets like the type of snow that we encountered, that heavy wet snow. Once we went through it once, it had like a slippery layer that it had on the surface of the asphalt. So the tendencies of the truck, or even the grader for that fact, would want to kick it to the side instead of sending it over. I do not want to go out and try to kick it back with little result and filling people's driveways. I don't want to do that. We're in March. Hopefully Mother Nature will help us out, get this melted down, and we can carry on. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Garski. Moving on to Director of Parks and Recreation, Ms. Soul.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, even though it doesn't look like spring, the Park and Rec Department is preparing for our spring programming. On March 28th at 11 a.m., the dog park will be open for the Great Hump Hunt. Easter eggs will be scattered throughout the park filled with puppy treats, and you may even see an Easter bunny. We do ask that all dogs wish to participate to be at the park before 11 a.m. and on a leash. No dog will be admitted during the event without a leash. Once all eggs are picked up for dogs, the dogs are free to go off leash and enjoy the park as normal. The park will be locked at normal closing time on March 27th and will not open until the event. Then we have our babysitting class on April 1st. Class begins at 8 a.m. at the Washington Center North Room and will conclude at 3:30 p.m. Upon completion of this class, Each participant will walk away with a CPR and AED certification, as well as knowledge on how to safely stay at home by oneself or babysit others. Also, all summer program registration is open, including Camp Hatton. That list can be found on our registration website. And then lastly, our department is hiring for Camp Hatton counselors as well as summer class instructors. Please see our website under Human Resources, Employment Opportunities for more information, or you can call our office at 982-8521. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sewell. Next one, we're on the Director of Community Development, Mr. Deeb.
Thank you, Your Honor. Looking back to February, our department issued 17 building permits, which was a slight uptick from January. We issued 15. As I've mentioned before, we do anticipate this number to continue to rise as we get into construction season. And with that being said, as we do eventually head into construction season, weather depending, I encourage any city council members, any residents to reach out with any questions, concerns, complaints that they may have, because we're anticipating a busy summer when it comes to construction, whether that's residential, commercial, whatever it may be. We're here to help out. Next, if you go to our city website, you'll see some updates to the community development page with some helpful links, kind of a refreshed sort of look, with some information on there for people to look at if they have any questions, and some contact info for our department as well. That being said, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deeb. Next one, Utility Manager, Mr. Bessett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Extremely happy to report we had no issues or outages during the extreme storm event. Also, we consolidated our spring hydrant flushing down to 2 days. That'll take place April 20th and 21st this year, if people are interested and want to mark their calendars. And then last, I have Tony Burton has completed 3 years of service with New London Utilities. That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Bessett. I'd like to take time to thank the plow drivers. Mr. Garski, I understand snow of that volume, it makes things very difficult. And thankful for all the hard hours, not only you, but everybody else involved in the process. Well done. Next, I'd like to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully everybody shows up for the parade Saturday. Cross your fingers, look like we're gonna have a little bit good weather. And I'm sure that the streets will be shaped up as best as we can when we get there. Be safe and enjoy, everybody. Seeing no more, look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Barrington, seconded by Mr. Roberts to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.